And so now we have this other letter, and it's basically stating, actually, at this point, let me have the merge fields because I don't see the requirements. And if I look at see this under these brackets are the merge fields. So I don't see requirements. I can put them in here, for example. I'm not going to change the body text. You will probably have to change the body text to say these are the requirements, right? But I'm going to insert them right now because it wasn't in this letter. So insert merge fields. I'm going to scroll all the way down, and it says survey requirements. I'm going to insert and close. And if I toggle again, view merge data, you see it says you need to put the grease trap device. That's what I typed previously in that form, right? So that's what you want to tell them. And here is their deadline. And that's, of course, a merge field deadline, right? So, and these deadlines are set in letter options. We can go in there to show you. But that's basically where we activated the letters. You can set under options what is the time difference between those letters, right? So I'm going to close out of this. I'm not going to say document 19. So I say no. So have the documents been printed successfully? I'll say yes. Okay, if I close out of this, it's gone from the reminder. If I go to facility, if I go to surveys again, I will be seeing that the letter was sent and the response due was in July. It's expected to be in July 2012. So now let's assume that they basically complied and they found us and we went down there and we see everything is fine, right? What we can do, we can go to this survey and we can basically say now that it meets all the requirements, and we've done it. The computer thinks it's June 2012. So my next inspection is going to go to 1st November 2012 because that's 6 months from the date inspected, basically when it was supposed to be inspected the last time, because it keeps the cycle. And if I close out of this, we basically have now, when we go to grease control, it moved our next inspection to the future date that was 6 months ahead. So then we can start again doing the cycle. Now, remember that we do have that letter when they complied completely. We have to send that letter. And if I go and open a reminder, you see that this letter here needs to be sent, that it meets all requirements, right? But here's the trick. If I don't want to use that letter, I can simply go to these letters and I can simply turn this letter off. Close. If I go to reminder, it shouldn't be there, as it isn't, right? So you can decide yourself if you want to use these letters or not. Now here's one more little thing I want to show you. If you go to letters here, and if you look at these letters, you can basically define some certain options, how these letters are triggered or whatnot. So let's just take a look how, let's say, before inspection letters is triggered. If I go to letter options, look here. Is the letter dependent on a field? So if the letter is dependent on some certain field, and in this case next inspection, so it's dependent on the date, right? And if the next inspection date is past the current date, then the reminder reacts and it wants to basically tell you to send this letter. So that's where it's at. And for the, I turned that letter off. It's here, grease control meets requirements. You see letter options. If I go here, that letter is triggered if in that form you check mark meet all requirements. So that's why system wants you to send that letter. But we turned that letter off. We made it inactive. So this letter is not going to show anymore if you don't want to, right? That was this letter over here. So, okay, this actually went into 2 tutorials, obviously. It's been split to 2 videos because YouTube obviously allows only 10 minutes. And I said I'm going to look into 3 scenarios. The second scenario we looked into already. I would just have to move my calendar further up in time in order to show you the third scenario. Maybe we don't even have to do it because it's the same thing. If I go here to grease control, I can see that on 1st November, 2012, I'm going to have to perform another survey, right? Or next inspection, however you want to call it. So now I can move the calendar and that thing will be there. And I said that the third scenario was if you already have a device. One thing that I did not do, as I was saying that they complied about the survey, is I did not put the device. So in order to put a device, you can just click here, new device, pick the device type. Let's say it was a grease trap installed in basement. For example, there is few makes. These tables are actually they're empty. It's up to you to make models. So if you double click the field, you can start making models. Let's say display 001. I'm not really sure what models are. So that's how you can set them up in case you have often the same type of models. Here is some additives. Capacity can be given in gallons. Let's say, for example, 500. Flow rate is gallons per minute or liters per minute. So let's say I'll say 20 gallons per minute. Install date 01. For example, I don't know, it was April, I think. And I can say 2012 because we faked the date in the future. So here it is. And these other information you can also put in. So if I close out of this, I can see that I have this grease trap. I can add many more because maybe my previous inspection required for them to put 3 of them, right? So these inspections, very unlike devices, you send them per facility. So you're inspecting facility and devices, the grease traps or whatever grease devices you have there for that facility. So all the documentation is sent for facility, and it regards all 3 of these. And if you had inspection, right, where you had to put some requirements, I'm looking at this older one that I sent, then if there were 3 of these, I could basically state here, you know, for each of these, this one needs to be clean, the other one needs to be clean too, and, you know, they're defined some certain ways. So that's how I can go about sending, you know, further information about my inspection. So grease control comes down to inspections. Workflow is you go there, you inspect. Before you go there, you set the cycle for your inspection. You're going to send a letter that you're going to inspect. And once you inspect it, then you go and open the survey and you basically say if they met all the requirements. If not, you state requirements and then you keep sending the letters until they comply. So in a nutshell, that's pretty much about the grease traps. If you have any questions, please drop email to bpms@bpms.net. I will be very glad to answer all your questions. Thank you. It's Dan from BPMS. Signing off now. Bye.